Okay, for this particular demo, I'm going to go over exercise 6, setting type or text for chapter books. And I'm going to show you how to set up the document and copy and paste the information into the document in the easiest, fastest way. So for this assignment, you're going to be creating or recreating a chapter from a book, and you're going to be taking raw information and putting it into InDesign and formatting it. So at the top of the exercise, you have the um, actual text that is given to you, and then under that is the example of the elements of typography, style, actual book that you will be able to reference to figure out how to format your information. And if you take a scroll down to where the student examples are, this is what it's going to end up looking like in the end. It is a bit of a complicated hierarchy that you're going to have to set up with multiple subtitles and quotes and numbering system. So you're going to need to be setting up paragraph styles, numbering system, which it's already there. The numbering system's already there, but you are going to have to create um, a weight and a font that goes with it. This student put page numbers in it and some information about the book at the bottom, which is quite common in publication design. This student, you can't see it. I don't believe they did put it in there. It is not required and it is not in the assignment. But I would highly recommend that you do go and you assign some pages to your document. And I have already created a demo on how to create pages from the parent pages, page numbers from the parent pages, and how to set that up and change the page numbering and how to get the number off of this page. So take a look at that and work on learning how to do that. So for the information that was given to you, it is going to look very raw and it is going to have to be formatted in InDesign. This is something that quite often happens from clients, and they give you text that is very discombobulated or not formatted at all, and you have to fix it. So this is going to be one of your harder exercises that you are going to have to format all of this. And it's going to take you some time, and you're going to have to work pretty hard at it. So this is going to be probably one of your hardest assignments. This is 8 pages long. When I took it into InDesign, it ended up being 15, but after you format it, it should be better. Um, because these are, of course, wider pages. This is 8.5 by 11, and you're taking it into a 5 by 8 document. So the example that I give you, my 900 tabs, is this one. It won't open up to this page. As you can see, this is the same as the other one. Formatting, the grand design here, the grand design here. It will open up to this first page up here. Just scroll down to page 9. That is where chapter 1 starts. And that's where you're going to want to look at it and see how they went about tackling the paragraphs and where to break them, how to create this quote that's in here that's in italics. You do not have to include the sidebars at all. How they went about creating this hierarchy with the different numbering system. So you're going to have to go about and do that. So for the assignment, it says to create a 5 by 8 pages vertical with 1.5 margin and facing pages. I had already done that, and to see, how it would look, and this is how it's going to look. It's going to look pretty messed up, this is probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen. So you're going to have to go in here and you're going to have to figure out where the sentences end. Like here, there's a hard return. Here, there's a hard return. You're going to have to really put a lot of work into this and really work at figuring out where the hard returns are supposed to be and where the hard returns are not supposed to be. So this is going to take you a minute. Then here I've already put in the page numbers and I have had it start at page 2 and not have a page number on page 1. So in order to learn how to do that and quickly put your information into the document, we're going to put a text box on the parent page. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new document and change this to inches, 5 by 8, vertical, facing pages. I did 15 pages because that's what mine turned out to be. And then a 0.5 margin. One column is fine since it's only 5 inches across. So there's our first page. What we're going to do is I'm going to go into the parent page and create a text box on both pages. So I click the text tool, created a box there, and now I'm going to escape V and option, click, option drag a text box over to this page. So did it put one on each page? No, it didn't. Okay. For some reason it didn't. There we go. Now we should have one on each page. And as you can see, I have a dotted line on each of the pages as well. So I'm going to double click on page 1. I am going to try to click on, where's the text box? So to get to the text box, you shift command, and that'll open up your ability to get to the text box. Next, I'm going to go and get the information from the PDF. I'm going to press Command A to select everything. I'm going to come back over to my InDesign document. I'm going to double click in my InDesign document text box, and I'm going to press Command V. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Oh, you know why? Because I don't think I pressed Command C on here. So there, it copied it. And I'm going to go Command V here. So now we have all the text into the document. And you can see that this little plus sign down here is where you get the information for the rest of the document. So all of the text is in this one box. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this text that's in this box, because you could pull down this text box and you can see more text. You're going to grab the text that's inside that text box and you're going to keep copying, or you're going to keep connecting it to the next text box. So I'm going to click on this text, this little box here, and it gives me like, hey, I've got the text that's left over from that text box that doesn't fit in there, and I'm going to put it in the next one on page 2. So I'm going to go here and it says link, and it just starts putting the text in until you run out of text. So you keep going and clicking on that plus sign and clicking on the next text box and the next text box and the next text box and the next text box until you are done. And for me, it was 15 pages. So as you can see, I'm on page 5 out of 15. So I'm gonna just keep clicking and keep clicking and keep clicking. And one of the things that you could do if you want to avoid having to format all this in InDesign is you could try opening up that PDF and editing it. But I'm going to guess that you will have more luck and it'll be faster in InDesign to do it that way. Because in the PDF, it has to convert it and then you have to copy it and paste it again. And it might work, it might not. You could try it. But I found that formatting text and reformatting text is the fastest in InDesign. And so now I've copied and pasted this into each, connected it because they're all linked. Because if you notice, I have gone through all 15 pages. I want to show you that these are linked to each other if you didn't know that already. And there's a hyphen. You need to turn off hyphens. Don't forget to do that. These are all connected. So let's just say I go and I'm going to go to the last page and I shorten, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I shorten this text box. It's going to push whatever's not fitting in this text box into the next text box. So I pushed it up, so now it's pushed whatever wasn't fitting in that text box into the next one. So you could change the shape. This is good for magazines and any kind of publication where you don't have the same size text box on every page. It'll just push it to the next page. So I undid that. So the next thing I wanted to do was to make sure that you understood how to go about formatting this. So you can put in some hard returns in here to get this to go to the next page. So I want this to be on the next page. I can press return, 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 and it'll just keep pushing this information down to page 2. And if you go down to page 15 or 14, it just keeps pushing the text down and down and down. So that's why I ended up with 15 pages, because when I was on page 1 and I wanted to push this information down, I ended up with 15 pages. So let's just say I want to change the size of this up to like 36. Um, and I want it to come back up to this page. I still have hard returns up here. I have hard returns down here on the bottom. But now it's pushed it too far down and I have to bring it back up to where I want it to start, wherever that is. So the size and length of your document will change. So I wanted to go back down to 14. What happens if I need more pages? So right now it shows that I have more text here. I need to put it on the next page. I can take that and put it up here. So you're gonna end up adding or subtracting pages in the end because when you're formatting it, taking out all these spaces in here, you will end up with less pages and you will delete them. You should have less pages, so you'll just delete them. But you may end up with a situation where it looks like this and you have an error at the bottom. Always keep checking for this error at the bottom because that'll tell you if you have one of these situations where you need to take this leftover text and add it to the next text block. So you want to go to your pre-flight panel. It'll say you have an error. You have text hangover offset text. So you click on there, you click on here, it'll say offset text on page 14. You can then double click on that and it'll take it exactly to the page that you have that error on so that you can correct it. So always keep an eye on your pre-flights little panel at the bottom to make sure that when you're done with your document or you're in the process of your document and you see a whole bunch of errors, just check on it periodically to figure out why there are errors. You'll also get link errors in here as well if you've lost a link to an image. Just keep an eye on it and keep correcting stuff that needs to be corrected, but don't overstress on it until you've got all your text formatted. Then go back through it with the fine-tooth comb and make sure there are no errors. There are no spots like this where you have to take more text and add it to the next text block or text box. So you're going to need to create some paragraph styles on this and some character styles in order to keep yourself sane and to get it done quicker and faster. And I did go through paragraph styles on the last um, demo, but at this point, I believe you guys know already how to do paragraph styles. If we need to go over it again and need to do another demo, I will. But let me know if you have any questions and good luck on this one.